A279. Luke 15:1. But tax collectors and sinners were approaching to hear him. 2. And the scribes and Pharisees were complaining and they were saying, "This one receives sinners, and he eats with them." 3. And Yeshua told them this parable. 4. What man among you has 100 sheep, and if one of them should be lost, would not leave the 99 in the wilderness, and go seek that one which is lost until he would find it? 5. And whenever he has found it he rejoices and carries it on his shoulder. 6. And he comes to his house and he calls his friends and his neighbors, and he says to them, "Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost." 7. I say to you that there shall be joy like this in heaven over one sinner who returns home, more than over 99 righteous ones who do not need a homecoming. 8. And who is the woman who has 10 quarter shekels and will lose one of them, and does not light a lamp and sweep the house and search for it carefully until she finds it? 9. When she has found it, she calls her friends and her neighbors, and she says to them, "Rejoice with me, for I found my quarter shekel that was lost." 10. I say to you that there will be joy like this before the angels of YEHOVAH over one sinner who returns home. 11. And Yeshua said to them again, one man had 2 sons. 12. And his younger son said to him, "My father, give me the portion that befalls me from your estate." Then he divided to them his wealth. 13. And after a few days his younger son gathered everything that was coming to him, and he went to a distant country, and there he squandered his wealth while living wastefully. 14. And when he had spent everything that he had, there was a great famine in that country, and he began to be wanting. 15. And he joined himself to one of the citizens of that country, and he sent him to a field to herd pigs. 16. And he longed to fill his belly from the carob pods that the pigs were eating, and no man was giving anything to him. 17. And when he came to himself, he said, "Now, how many hired servants are in my father's house who have plenteous bread for themselves, and here I am dying with hunger." 18. I shall arise and go to my father and say to him, "My father, I have sinned toward heaven and before you." 19. Now I am not worthy to be called your son. Make me as one of your hired servants. 20. And rising, he came to his father, and while he was still distant, his father saw him, and he was moved with compassion for him, and he ran and fell on his neck, and he kissed him. 21. And his son said to him, "My father, I have sinned toward heaven and before you, and I am not worthy that I should be called your son." 22. But his father said to his servants, "Bring the best robe and clothe him and put a ring on his hand and put shoes on him." 23. Bring and kill the fattened ox, let us eat and celebrate. 24. Because this, my son, was dead, and he is alive, he was lost, and now he is found. And they began to celebrate. 25. But his older son was in the field, and as he came, he approached the house, and he heard the sound of many people singing. 26. He called one of the boys and he asked him, "What is this?" 27. And he said to him, "Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fattened ox, because he has received him well." 28. And he was angry and he did not want to enter, and his father went out pleading with him. 29. But he said to his father, "Behold, I have served you for many years of servitude, and I have never transgressed your command, and you never gave a goat to me that I may celebrate with my friends." 30. But when this your son, who had wasted your money with whores, has come back, you killed for him the fattened ox. 31. His father said to him, "My son, you are always with me and everything that I have is yours." 32. But it is right for us to celebrate and to rejoice. For this your brother was dead, and he is alive. He was lost, and he is found. 1 Peter 3:1. In this way, also, you women, submit to your husbands, that you may win without labor those who do not obey the word by your beautiful way of life. 2. When they see that you conduct yourselves in reverence and discretion. 3. Do not be adorned with outward ornaments of your hair braids or of gold jewelry or fine clothing. 4. But be adorned in the secret person of the heart and in a humble spirit which is incorrupted, an excellent ornament before YEHOVAH. 5. For in this way from the first, the holy women who hoped in YEHOVAH were adorning their souls, and they submitted to their husbands. 6. Just as Sarah was subject to Abraham and was calling him, "My Lord," whose daughters you are by good works, when you are not shaken with any fear. 7. And you men, in this way dwell with your wives by knowledge, and hold them in honor as weaker vessels, lest you be subverted in your prayers, because they also inherit the gift of eternal life with you. 8. But the conclusion is that you should all be in harmony, suffer with those who are suffering, love one another, be merciful and humble. 9. And you should not repay a person evil for evil, neither insults for insults, but to the contrary of these things, give blessings, for you are called to this, that you would inherit blessing. 10. Therefore, whoever desires life and loves to see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips, that they do not speak deceit. 11. Let him move away from wickedness and let him do good, let him seek peace and run after it. 12. Because the eyes of Elohim Yehovah are upon the righteous and his ears hear them, the face of the Elohim is against the evil. 13. And who is he who will do evil to you if you will be zealous for good? 14. And if you suffer for the sake of righteousness, you are blessed, and you should not be afraid of those who terrorize you, and be not provoked. 15. But hallow Elohim Yehovah the Messiah in your hearts, and be ready to return a defense to everyone who requests a statement from you about the hope of your faith, in meekness and in reverence. 16. As you have a good conscience, so that those who speak against you as against evil people, may be ashamed as people who reject your beautiful way of life, which is in the Messiah. 17. For it is an advantage to you that when you are doing good works, you suffer evil, if it is thus the will of Yehovah, but not while you are doing evil. 18. Because the Messiah also died once for the sake of our sins, the righteous one in the place of sinners, to bring you to Yehovah, and he died in body and lived in his spirit. 19. And he preached to those souls who were held in Sheol. 20. These who from the first were not convinced in the days of Noah when the long suffering of Yehovah commanded that there would be an ark, upon the hope of their repentance, and only 8 souls entered it and were kept alive by water. 21. For you also are saved in it by that simile in baptism, not when you wash the body from impurity, but when you confess Yehovah with a pure conscience, and by the resurrection of Yeshua, the Messiah. 22. He who has been escorted into heaven, and he is upon the right hand of Yehovah, and the angels and the principalities and the powers are subjected unto him. Numbers 18. 1. And Elohim spoke to Aaron, saying, Thou and thy sons and thy father's house shall bear the sins of the holy things, and thou and thy sons shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood. 2. And take to thyself thy brethren the tribe of Levi, the family of thy father, and let them be joined to thee, and let them minister to thee, and thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness. 3. And they shall keep thy charges, and the charges of the tabernacle, only they shall not approach the holy vessels and the altar, so both they and you shall not die. 4. And they shall be joined to thee, and shall keep the charges of the tabernacle of witness, in all the services of the tabernacle, and a stranger shall not approach to thee. 5. And ye shall keep the charges of the holy things, and the charges of the altar, and so there shall not be anger among the children of Israel. 6. And I have taken your brethren the Levites out of the midst of the children of Israel, a present given to Elohim, to minister in the services of the tabernacle of witness. 7. And thou and thy sons after thee shall keep up your priestly ministration, according to the whole manner of the altar, and that which is within the veil, and ye shall minister in the services as the office of your priesthood, and the stranger that comes near shall die. 8. And Elohim said to Aaron, And, behold, I have given you the charge of the firstfruits of all things consecrated to me by the children of Israel, and I have given them to thee as an honor, and to thy sons after thee for a perpetual ordinance. 9. And let this be to you from all the holy things that are consecrated to me, even the burnt offerings, from all their gifts, and from all their sacrifices, and from every trespass offering of theirs, and from all their sin offerings, whatever things they give to me of all their holy things, they shall be thine and thy sons. 10. In the most holy place shall ye eat them, every male shall eat them, thou and thy sons. They shall be holy to thee. 11. And this shall be to you of the firstfruits of their gifts, of all the wave offerings of the children of Israel, to thee have I given them, and to thy sons and thy daughters with thee, a perpetual ordinance, every clean person in thy house shall eat them. 12. Every first offering of oil, and every first offering of wine, their firstfruits of corn, whatsoever they may give to Elohim, to thee have I given them. 13. All the firstfruits that are in their land, whatsoever they shall offer to Elohim, shall be thine. Every clean person in thy house shall eat them. 14. Every devoted thing among the children of Israel shall be thine. 15. And everything that opens the womb of all flesh, whatsoever they bring to Elohim, whether man or beast, shall be thine. Only the firstborn of men shall be surely redeemed, and thou shalt redeem the firstborn of unclean cattle. 16. And the redemption of them shall be from a month old, their valuation of 5 shekels, it is 20 oboli, according to the holy shekel. 17. But thou shalt not redeem the firstborn of calves and the firstborn of sheep and the firstborn of goats, they are holy. And thou shalt pour their blood upon the altar, and thou shalt offer the fat as a burnt offering for a smell of sweet savor to Elohim. 18. And the flesh shall be thine, as also the breast of the wave offering, and as the right shoulder, it shall be thine. 19. Every special offering of the holy things, whatsoever the children of Israel shall specially offer to Elohim, I have given to thee and to thy sons and to thy daughters with thee, a perpetual ordinance. It is a covenant of salt forever before Elohim, for thee and thy seed after thee. 20. And Elohim said to Aaron, Thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any portion among them, for I am thy portion and thine inheritance in the midst of the children of Israel. 21. And, behold, I have given to the sons of Levi every tithe in Israel for an inheritance for their services, whereinsoever they perform ministry in the tabernacle of witness. 22. And the children of Israel shall no more draw nigh to the tabernacle of witness to incur fatal guilt. 23. And the Levite himself shall perform the service of the tabernacle of witness, and they shall bear their iniquities, it is a perpetual statute throughout their generations, and in the midst of the children of Israel, they shall not receive an inheritance. 24. Because I have given as a distinct portion to the Levites for an inheritance the tithes of the children of Israel, whatsoever they shall offer to Elohim, therefore I said to them, in the midst of the children of Israel, they shall have no inheritance. 25. And Elohim spoke to Moses, saying, 26. Thou shalt also speak to the Levites, and shalt say to them, If ye take the tithe from the children of Israel, which I have given you from them for an inheritance, then shall ye separate from it a heave offering to Elohim, a tenth of the tenth. 27. And your heave offerings shall be reckoned to you as corn from the floor, and an offering from the wine press. 28. So shall ye also separate them from all the offerings of Elohim out of all your tithes, whatsoever ye shall receive from the children of Israel, and ye shall give of them an offering to Elohim to Aaron the priest. 29. Of all your gifts ye shall offer an offering to Elohim, and of every first fruit the consecrated part from it. 30. And thou shalt say to them, When ye shall offer the first fruits from it, then shall it be reckoned to the Levites as produce from the threshing floor, and as produce from the wine press. 31. And ye shall eat it in any place, ye and your families, for this is your reward for your services in the tabernacle of witness. 32. And ye shall not bear sin by reason of it, for ye shall have offered an offering of first fruits from it, and ye shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, that ye die not. Joel 1. 1. The word of Elohim which came to Joel the son of Bethuel. 2. Hear these words, ye elders, and hearken all ye that inhabit the land. Have such things happen in your days, or in the days of your fathers? 3. Tell your children concerning them, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. 4. The leavings of the caterpillar has the locust eaten, and the leavings of the locust has the palmerworm eaten, and the leavings of the palmerworm has the cankerworm eaten. 5. Awake, ye drunkards, from your wine, and weep. Mourn, all ye that drink wine to drunkenness. For joy and gladness and removed are from your mouth. 6. For a strong and innumerable nation is come up against my land, their teeth are lions' teeth, and their back teeth those of a lion's whelp. 7. He has ruined my vine, and utterly broken my fig trees. He has utterly searched my vine, and cast it down, he has peeled its branches. 8. Lament to me more than a virgin girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. 9. The meat offering and drink offering are removed from the house of Elohim. Mourn, ye priests that serve at the altar of Elohim. 10. For the plains languish. Let the land mourn, for the corn languishes, the wine is dried up, the oil becomes scarce. 11. The husbandmen are consumed. Mourn your property on account of the wheat and barley, for the harvest has perished from off the field. 12. The vine is dried up, and the fig trees are become few, the pomegranate, and palm tree, and apple, and all trees of the field are dried up. For the sons of men have abolished joy. 13. Gird yourselves with sackcloth, and lament, ye priests. Mourn, ye that serve at the altar. Go in, sleep in sackcloths, ye that minister to YEHOVAH. For the meat offering and drink offering are withheld from the house of your YEHOVAH. 14. Sanctify a fast, proclaim a solemn service, gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land into the house of your YEHOVAH, and cry earnestly to Elohim. 15. Alas, alas, alas for the day. For the day of Elohim is nigh, and it will come as trouble upon trouble. 16. Your meat has been destroyed before your eyes, joy and gladness from out of the house of your YEHOVAH. 17. The heifers have started at their mangers, the treasures are abolished, the wine presses are broken down, for the corn is withered. 18. What shall we store up for ourselves? The herds of cattle have mourned, because they had no pasture, and the flocks of sheep have been utterly destroyed. 19. To thee, O Elohim, will I cry. For fire has devoured the fair places of the wilderness, and a flame has burnt up all the trees of the field. 20. And the cattle of the field have looked up to thee. For the fountains of waters have been dried up, and fire has devoured the fair places of the wilderness. Joel 2. 1. Sound the trumpet in Sion, make a proclamation in my holy mountain, and let all the inhabitants of the land be confounded. For the day of Elohim is near. 2. For a day of darkness and gloominess is near, a day of cloud and mist. A numerous and strong people shall be spread upon the mountains as the morning. There has not been from the beginning one like it, and after it, there shall not be again even to the years of many generations. 3. Before them is a consuming fire, and behind them is a flame kindled. The land before them is as a paradise of delight, and behind them a desolate plain. And there shall none of them escape. 4. Their appearance is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they pursue. 5. As the sound of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, and as the sound of a flame of fire devouring stubble, and as a numerous and strong people setting themselves in array for battle. 6. Before them shall the people be crushed. Every face shall be as the blackness of a cauldron. 7. As warriors shall they run, and as men of war shall they mount on the walls, and each shall move in his right path, and they shall not turn aside from their tracks. 8. And not one shall stand aloof from his brother. They shall go on weighed down with their arms, and they fall upon their weapons, yet shall they in no wise be destroyed. 9. They shall seize upon the city, and run upon the walls, and go up upon the houses, and enter in through the windows as thieves. 10. Before them the earth shall be confounded, and the sky shall be shaken. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their light. 11. And Elohim shall utter his voice before his host. For his camp is very great. For the execution of his words is mighty. For the day of Elohim is great, very glorious, and who shall be able to resist it? 12. Now therefore, saith Elohim your Yehovah, turn to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with lamentation. 13. And rend your hearts, and not your garments, and turn to Elohim your Yehovah. For he is merciful and compassionate, long-suffering, and plenteous in mercy, and repents of evils. 14. Who knows if he will return, and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering to Elohim your Yehovah. 15. Sound the trumpet in Sion, sanctify a fast, proclaim a solemn service. 16. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the infants at the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. 17. Between the porch and the altar let the priests that minister to Elohim weep, and say, Spare thy people, O Elohim, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them, lest they should say among the heathen, Where is their Yehovah? 18. But Elohim was jealous of his land, and spared his people. 19. And Elohim answered and said to his people, Behold, I will send you corn, and wine, and oil, and ye shall be satisfied with them. And I will no longer make you a reproach among the Gentiles. 20. And I will chase away from you the northern adversary, and will drive him away into a dry land, and I will sink his face in the former sea, and his back parts in the latter sea, and his ill savor shall come up, and his stink come up, because he has wrought great things. 21. Be of good courage, O land, rejoice and be glad. For Elohim has done great things. 22. Be of good courage, ye beasts of the plain, for the plains of the wilderness have budded, for the trees have borne their fruit, the fig tree, and the vine have yielded their strength. 23. Rejoice then and be glad, ye children of Sion, in Elohim your Yehovah. For he has given you food fully, and he will rain on you the early and the latter rain, as before. 24. And the floors shall be filled with corn, and the presses shall overflow with wine and oil. 25. And I will recompense you for the years which the locust, and the caterpillar, and the palmerworm, and the cankerworm, have eaten even my great army, which I sent against you. 26. And ye shall eat abundantly, and be satisfied, and shall praise the name of Elohim your Yehovah for the things which he has wrought wonderfully with you. And my people shall not be ashamed forever. 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am Elohim your Yehovah, and that there is none else beside me, and my people shall no more be ashamed forever. 28. And it shall come to pass afterward, that I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. 29. And on my servants and on my handmaids in those days will I pour out of my spirit. 30. And I will shew wonders in heaven, and upon the earth, blood, and fire, and vapor of smoke. 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and glorious day of Elohim come. 32. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Elohim shall be saved. For in Mount Sion and in Jerusalem shall the saved one be as Elohim has said, and they that have glad tidings preach to them, whom Elohim has called. Proverbs 6. 1. My son, if thou become surety for thy friend, thou shalt deliver thine hand to an enemy. 2. For a man's own lips become a strong snare to him, and he is caught with the lips of his own mouth. 3. My son, do what I command thee, and deliver thyself, for on thy friend's account thou art come into the power of evil men. Faint not, but stir up even thy friend for whom thou art become surety. 4. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber with thine eyelids. 5. That thou mayest deliver thyself as a doe out of the toils, and as a bird out of a snare. 6. Go to the ant, O sluggard, and see, and emulate his ways, and become wiser than he. 7. For whereas he has no husbandry, nor any one to compel him, and is under no master. 8. He prepares food for himself in the summer, and lays by abundant store in harvest. Or go to the bee, and learn how diligent she is, and how earnestly she is engaged in her work, whose labors kings and private men use for health, and she is desired and respected by all. Though weak in body, she is advanced by honoring wisdom. 9. How long wilt thou lie, O sluggard? And when wilt thou wake out of sleep? 10. Thou sleepest a little, and thou restest a little, and thou slumberest a short time, and thou foldest thine arms over thy breast a little. 11. Then poverty comes upon thee as an evil traveler, and want as a swift courier. But if thou be diligent, thine harvest shall arrive as a fountain, and poverty shall flee away as a bad courier. 12. A foolish man and a transgressor goes in ways that are not good. 13. And the same winks with the eye, and makes a sign with his foot, and teaches with the beckonings of his fingers. 14. His perverse heart devises evils. At all times such a one causes troubles to a city. 15. Therefore his destruction shall come suddenly, overthrow and irretrievable ruin. 16. For he rejoices in all things which Jehovah hates, and he is ruined by reason of impurity of soul. 17. The eye of the haughty, a tongue unjust, hands shedding the blood of the just. 18. And a heart devising evil thoughts, and feet hastening to do evil, are hateful to Jehovah. 19. An unjust witness kindles falsehoods, and brings on quarrels between brethren. 20. My son, keep the laws of thy father, and reject not the ordinances of thy mother. 21. But bind them upon thy soul continually, and hang them as a chain about thy neck. 22. Whensoever thou walkest, lead this along and let it be with thee, that it may talk with thee when thou wakest. 23. For the commandment of the law is a lamp and a light, a way of life, reproof also and correction. 24. To keep thee continually from a married woman, and from the calumny of a strange tongue. 25. Let not the desire of beauty overcome thee, neither be thou caught by thine eyes, neither be captivated with her eyelids. 26. For the value of a harlot is as much as of one loaf, and a woman hunts for the precious souls of men. 27. Shall any one bind fire in his bosom, and not burn his garments? 28. Or will any one walk on coals of fire, and not burn his feet? 29. So is he that goes in to a married woman, he shall not be held guiltless, neither any one that touches her. 30. It is not to be wondered at if one should be taken stealing, for he steals that when hungry he may satisfy his soul. 31. But if he should be taken, he shall repay sevenfold, and shall deliver himself by giving all his goods. 32. But the adulterer through want of sense procures destruction to his soul. 33. He endures both pain and disgrace, and his reproach shall never be wiped off. 34. For the soul of her husband is full of jealousy. He will not spare in the day of vengeance. 35. He will not forego his enmity for any ransom. Neither will he be reconciled for many gifts.